at BBC Africa and at Ishiro Morioki using the hashtag #TheBreakdownBBC. We look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week for another edition of The Breakdown as we analyze some of the news making headlines across Africa.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's edition with me, Martha Hamtenya. In the news headlines, activist Mshelelo Dimbulukeni shared over 90 days prison experience. Katima Molilo street vendors protest against relocation. City of Windhoek to host first ever street market. Right time for agriculture to rescue the economy, says local economist. And round up business on one, comments corner, sports and the weather. Two activists, Dimbulukeni Nuyoma of the Affirmative Repositioning Movement and the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters, Michael Mshelelo, who spent over 3 months at the Windhoek Correctional Facility for inciting public violence during a protest at Chinatown, shared their 90 days experience behind bars. The duo were released this morning after High Court Judge Christy Liebenberg granted each 5,000 bail. Reporter Joseph Ilonga was on the ground to witness their release.
Chinatown is but a small, mere incident. The bigger problem that we are trying to illustrate here is to say that the imperialists are still here. And for as long as the imperialists are here, we need to now fight with more vigor and more determination. You see, you cannot say that you are peaceful and you have a stable country when you have 1 million people living in shacks. What stability are you talking about? The biggest time bomb right now is young people, and these young people are soon going to revolt. Now, these petty crimes that you are currently seeing here is nothing. 5 years, 6 years from now, the situation is going to get worse. Because this child, as you arrest him for a petty crime of stealing sweets, where do we send them? We send them to prison. In prison is a college, it's a university to harden you. Here, there is no correctional or any rehabilitation happening here. Another issue that we need to tackle is the high suicidal rates. But what is the cause of these high suicidal rates? It's unemployment. When you don't have any type of employment, you live in perpetuated poverty. When you live in perpetuated poverty, you have no hope. If you want to kill a man, take his hope. If you take a man's hope, they've got nothing. So, for as long as we still have young people who are hopeful, we'll try and energize and take that energy and revitalize it.
From my perspective is that we must honestly thank General Ndeitunga. Here he's going on retirement. Must thank Major General Shikongo. They've done a wonderful job. Who's the other one? Kupembona, or whatever his name is, got a promotion for arresting me. I hear now he's a commissioner in Erongo. We must thank those guys. Because if they had not done what they've done, we would be speaking about prison. Speak about prison, speak about the prison system, but we don't have experience about the prison system. So we thank them. I was told that, you see, if you want to strengthen an iron, once you hit it and you cool it, it becomes stronger. So we now know up to what tactics the regime is willing to go. Of course, I must now consult my lawyers to know what is it that I can speak and what is it that I cannot speak. But of course, I was waiting for those things to say, no, he must not do this. Oh, they just said I must not get to Chinatown. It's fine. It's not about the Chinese. Let's not get it twisted. It's not about the Chinese. It's about the revolutionary position of the law and how do we utilize that law to emancipate our people. Our law is oppressing us.
The High Court judgment this morning by Christy Liebenberg declared that the lower court's decision to deny Nauyoma and Damushelelo bail was deemed to be incorrect and that the interest of justice does not require the ongoing incarceration of the accused pending the conclusion of their case. Today on One interviewed one of the lawyers for the defendants in the case, Kadila Amomo, and activist Simon Namunime, to get their perspectives on the verdict.
Despite the fact that we are obviously overjoyed by the fact that they will now be free, we are also in a bit of a state where we think they should not have been in custody for the past 3 months. But again, also it brings to the fore the need to perhaps reform our bail system in our country to bring back the principles of uniformity and consistency, because what has been on display, especially this year, as far as the granting of bail is concerned, you will see that there is a simply disregard for uniformity and consistency. I mean, people who should not be granted bail are being granted bail. Those who should be granted bail, clearly the public can tell that there is a sense of differentiation. There is no uniformity, there is no consistency, so we need to really work hard as members of the legal profession, and by that I mean prosecutors, magistrates, lawyers. We really need to polish our system so that the public can have confidence in the system.
But as the saying goes, it says that justice delayed is justice denied. This is a simple case. It was mainly just politicized for the sake that these guys are political activists, and they've been doing this. It's not new. But we are happy today from the Honorable Court that they granted this bail. As you know, it was first applied and it was declined at the Magistrate Court. Then the appeal was then sought from the High Court of Namibia and it was granted today. So we are very happy, we are excited, and we are going to continue. It's not going to discourage us as activists from participating into activism, but of course we must always adhere to the law. Of course, the law is there, but the law must be just. It must not be applied selectively. So what is going to apply to us must also apply to the Chinese national, must also apply to the foreigners and so forth.
Judge Liebenberg granted Damushelelo and Nauyoma bail with the condition that they do not organize or participate in any unlawful public gathering and that they remain outside of a 1-kilometer radius around the Chinatown business complex. The duo staged a protest at Chinatown after the Namibia Revenue Agency ordered burning of $5 million Namibian dollars worth of counterfeit goods imported from China by Namibians for sale.
There are data deals, and then there are Telecom Namibia data deals. And if you want the biggest data deal of all, you gotta get 31-day Jiva, which comes with a massive 50 gigs of data. Is it even possible to use 50 gigs of data in a month? You tell us. You also get 1,000 voice minutes and 400 SMSs. To get your hands on 31-day Jiva, dial star 130 star 780 hash and enjoy a month of mega data. Whoa, that's a lot of data, minutes and SMS. How much is that? Must be expensive. No, it's only 185 Namibian dollars excluding that. T's and C's apply. Telecom Namibia.
Sharing your world.
There are different types of decisions, such as rational, habitual, impulsive, and coin tossing.
Let's get started.
The consumption of poultry containing food poisoning organisms, such as salmonella, but the danger to health can be dramatically reduced.
What about other organisms in the animal kingdom? Well, some animals are ectothermic.
Welcome to Lesson 5 for Grade 10 and 11 Mathematics.
Methodologies and approaches in order to produce relevant and suitable results.
Street vendors at Katima Mulilo held a peaceful demonstration on Friday, opposing the town council's plan to move them to a new market. The vendors' protest comes after 48-year-old Judith Limbo, a fellow vendor, collapsed and died during an eviction by the town council last week.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
In the petition, the street vendors accuse the town council of causing Limbo's death on the 15th of August while being evicted from Katima Mulilo Central Business District. Thus, the vendors called on the town council to look after Limbo's children. In addition, the vendors spoke against the decision to relocate them to a new place, which they say lacks basic services such as water, and they fear for their safety.
I have to be on the street to sell my produce. So which means now I don't have a place to sell. The market, we have been told all the stands are full when we wanted to have stands in the market. But now they are telling us there are 50-something stands in the market for us to go because they are chasing us from the streets where we were selling. And my condition now, for the past week that we have not been selling, I'm failing even to buy bread for my kids who are going to school. I'm a graduate without a job. I'm a teacher by profession. Why are they evicting people without building shelters for them? They are taking people in the sun. Other people, they have died there because they have been in the sun. They have been taken to the hospital and they are suffering there in hospital because they are already on oxygen because of the sun. So it's not fair. They must stop what they are doing. The town council should stop. If they don't know that we have rights, we have rights. Everyone in Namibia has his or her own rights and they can be implemented. Now, as we are leaving this place, if we won't receive any answers soon, we'll just go where we were selling and start selling because we cannot stay without bread. Them, they have salaries. End of the month, they are getting paid. And it's us who have put them on those chairs where they are and getting those salaries. It's not fair. They must stop what they are doing. They must implement what they have been promising us from 2012. They are failing to build sheds for the vendors.
The director of Native Small Trade Association, Bevan Simasiku Mulinja, read the petition on behalf of the street vendors.
These markets that they are promoting are unwelcome and must be stopped. The municipalities and town councils in Namibia must learn to consult people involved when designating any place for any purpose, especially when dealing with small vendors or residents of such localities. Katima Mulilo Open Market have challenges that they need to attend to instead of evicting vendors from their vending places. E.g., the market is flowing with sewer. The market is not renovated. The market does not have working lamps, for it fails to operate 24/7. The market vendors are complaining about untamed cats that are roaming around their stands. We need their arrears. These are market vendors. We need their arrears that have been accumulated through COVID to be cancelled.
The National Democratic Party NDP President Martin Lukato was also present, and he said the actions of the Katima Mulilo Town Council are uncalled for and condemned the eviction of street vendors.
We are here to condemn the Town Council of Katima Mulilo. We feel not good that our people should be chased away like dogs because they are living to sell products so that they can get a living, they can support their families, members, relatives, whatsoever. So it's a funny thing, and those who are involved, they should be accountable.
The Katima Mulilo Urban Constituency Councillor Kennedy Simasiku received the petition and said he will deliver it to the regional governor.
Honorable Sampofu is not in the region, so he delegated me to receive this very important document on his behalf. And I promise you that it shall reach his office. He will deliberate on it and come back to you as soon as possible. I thank you so much and wish you a blessed day.
The street vendors further called on Katima Mulilo's Mayor Lister Shamalas and the Chief Executive Officer to step down with immediate effect.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
Prevent cramps with Fabufarm's new MVA Cramp Stop. Developed to bring fast and effective relief from cramps in athletes, active people and senior citizens. Manufactured in Namibia, Fabufarm's MVA Cramp Stop contains a carefully selected blend of vitamins and essential minerals to prevent cramps with a full month's supply of capsules. It's Fabufarm's new MVA Cramp Stop, your #1 choice in cramp prevention. Now available at all leading pharmacies countrywide.
The city of Windhoek will host the first ever Spring Windhoek Market along Independence Avenue in the Central Business District on the 2nd and the 3rd of September. The Windhoek Market objective is to stimulate the local economy, promote local products and provide a platform that will serve as a temporary street front retail space for small businesses and corporate to promote and sell their products and services.
A series of activities including display of products, services will be on display, and this will also be an opportunity to engage with clients. Residents will also be in for a treat as there will be a display of cuisine and beverages on offer by vendors. City of Windhoek spokesperson Lydia Mtenya said the idea of the market is to boost the local economy as well as promote the local products.
The city of Windhoek will be hosting its first ever Windhoek Market that is scheduled to take place from the 2nd to the 3rd of September. It will take place right here in the city center, along the Independence, here close to Zoo Park, and also just toward within the CBD. The idea of the market is really just to boost the local economy and make sure, and also allow us to promote the local products, so that the vendors and the corporates are able to share information about the product and services that they are offering. They will be able to share space on those 2 days.
Mtenya further stated there will be different activities for everyone, including children. The city will also have a hub to share information about services rendered by the city.
The fact that we are going to bring all of these together at one spot, you have an opportunity also to come with your kids. We will have some kids entertainment on schedule. We will also have other activities lined up like demonstration of how certain services works, and also the city itself will provide information on site on the city of Windhoek services. So it will really be a one-stop shop, if I may put it that way, and we are really hoping that you will come and join us. There will be a lot of fun activities, and also this is the opportunity also, since the winter it's now going to be outdoor, and I mean this is an opportunity that you are also going to be able to be out of your house to go and get some sunshine. And as we call it, a spring edition of the market, we are really hoping that we are going to get the members of the public to join the city of Windhoek and all the partners that are helping out in this initiative.
Amtenya said they are now busy with going through applications and sorting them out following their deadline on Friday, 19th of August. Amtenya further called on members of the public to come in numbers to support the local businesses.
We've always had the bravery to stand up for what is Namibian. From protecting our homes from invaders to fighting the injustices of our people. We still honor what our country means to us and raise a glass to those who show their bravery. No matter how bright their spotlight, how commanding their performance, or how they shoot for the stars. With all this potential brewing in the land of the brave, what will you do to make this Namibia your Namibia?
Local economist Mali Lukukela says the agriculture sector plays a pivotal role in the revival of the domestic economy, especially during those difficult times brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war. Lukukela stated that if agriculture is fully utilized, it will bring a small but significant recovery to the economy.
Last week, the Ministry of Agriculture informed farmers and stakeholders that South Africa has imposed a movement restriction on cattle in order to control foot-and-mouth disease outbreaks. According to Carly Schletwein, South Africa's foot-and-mouth outbreak is a direct threat to Namibia's naive, disease-free livestock population and should therefore be protected at all costs. Schletwein says farmers can capitalize on this opportunity to produce better yields and stand a chance to dominate the local food market.
Specifically to the vegetables and fruit, well, of course, it is primarily because of the foot-and-mouth outbreak. But secondary, after COVID, we have learned that food self-sufficiency in basic commodities, in basic foodstuffs, has become a necessity and is therefore a priority for not only our well-being but for every country's well-being. COVID has shown us that countries put their interests first when it comes to these basic needs like food self-sufficiency. Now we have stimulated our market, our producers, to produce more vegetables, more fruit, more grains in order to reach self-sufficiency. And an implicit action that one must take if you do that is you to provide a market for the producers to sell into. Now, the prohibition of importing from other markets is therefore an action that is not a total prohibition. It is only a measure to make sure that whatever the farmers produce is actually finding a market, and every surplus in demand is ably satisfied through imports. I think it's a very sound and very necessary policy that we have to do. And by the way, it is not only done by us, it is done by South Africa itself. We are not allowed to import sugar other than from them at higher prices than we could import from somewhere else. So they are protecting their markets in a similar way that we try to protect our basic markets.
Schletwein further added that crops in South Africa are also risky to import as the disease-free zone tightens by the day, leaving Namibia vulnerable to food shortage if local farmers do not maximize this given opportunity.
disease-free zone status is pivotal to our ability to export 70% of our production to the best-paying markets of the world. It's a crucial issue that we maintain that status. So we have, as a result of that, prohibited or closed the border for live animals, fresh meat, any fresh milk produce, any fodder, any hay, grass, vegetables, fruit. That is in reaction to the foot and mouth disease. Now, South Africa itself has also stopped and prohibited imports from us to them. So we cannot move any cattle, any weaners to the South African market. So they equally, in order to assist them to control the disease that is now prevalent, has stopped movement. So I think it is a reaction that both countries do to protect their own disease status and their ability to create and maintain a sound animal health situation in their countries.
The minister told Agri on One that the Department of Agriculture will help farmers to boost quality and productivity for marketing purposes, because the most important commodity is food, and it is time Namibia takes action towards becoming self-sufficient.
Enjoy these fantastic payday savings at Clicks until the 6th of September. Buy Clicks 2-ply toilet paper 18 rolls, 2 for $99.99 per pack and 1 for $109.99. Buy Pampers pants or baby dry disposable nappies jumbo pack, 2 for $230.99 per pack and 1 for $241.99. And buy selected Oma laundry products, 2 for $215. Clicks. Feel good. Pay less.
And responsible farming practices must be part of the answer to the challenge of sustainability. But is science moving quickly enough to fulfill the needs of humanity?
The main reason why it's at this height is for the harvester comfort. So right now in California we have a labor shortage. There is not as many people who want to do the work of harvesting strawberries. It's really hard.
I think one of the differences between being an indoor farmer and an outdoor farmer, in a greenhouse in particular, we try and take advantage of the best of both worlds.
I would say, either someone's got a family characteristic that they just say, you know what? It's a female that says, I don't want my dad's nose.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay, and yeah, it's pretty obvious, and we'll get you back there and get it all fixed for you, okay?
In other leading stories, the Namibia Wildlife Resorts has expressed concern with the increase in robberies targeting tourists in Windhoek and around the country. The NWR says, having come from a difficult 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic, current tourism arrival data point to the recovery of the tourism industry and a return to pre-COVID numbers. Throngs of tourists can be seen in some of the local popular destinations such as the Etosha National Park and Sossusvlei. Demands for vehicle rentals have also gone up, showing great interest in self-drive tourism. However, with the rise in robbery and theft cases, they fear the negative publicity that these incidences of robbery and pickpocketing are bringing to Namibia. The leading public tourism service provider says such reports of robberies and theft are negative and will only prevent many tourists from coming to Namibia and will in the end hurt employment in the country and the economy. NWR appealed to all responsible parties, including law enforcement agencies and all town and regional tourism officers, to put up strong measures that create a safe environment for tourists. They also called on citizens to be ambassadors of their great country.
We never thought that this would actually happen in our country, especially for the youth. Everyone wants to play soccer now because of the obsolete.
There are data deals, and then there are Telecom Namibia data deals. And if you want the biggest data deal of all, you gotta get 31-day Jiva, which comes with a massive 50 gigs of data. Is it even possible to use 50 gigs of data in a month? You tell us. You also get 1,000 voice minutes and 400 SMSs. To get your hands on 31-day Jiva, dial star 130 star 780 hash and enjoy a month of mega data. Whoa, that's a lot of data, minutes and SMS. How much is that? Must be expensive. No, it's only 185 Namibian dollars excluding that. T's and C's apply. Telecom Namibia.
Sharing your world. Prevent cramps with Fabufarm's new NBA Cramp Stop. Developed to bring fast and effective relief from cramps in athletes, active people and senior citizens. Manufactured in Namibia, Fabufarm's NBA Cramp Stop contains a carefully selected blend of vitamins and essential minerals to prevent cramps with a full month's supply of capsules. It's Fabufarm's new NBA Cramp Stop, your #1 choice in cramp prevention. Now available at all leading pharmacies countrywide.
Joseph Shifeni is standing by with Business on One.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. Namibia Airports Company NSC chairperson Liaki Hangala has called for the revival of the national airliner Air Namibia and urged stakeholders to look into ways to bring back an airline that is financially viable. According to Hangala, the airline must be operationally efficient, contribute to domestic and regional competition, and give consumers options.
Hangala made the calls to resuscitate the national airline at the launch of the Namibia Aviation and Connectivity Forum last week. Hangala's remarks come after Cabinet approved liquidating Air Namibia last year. It was reported that Air Namibia gobbled up to 11 billion in government bailouts over the past 2 decades.
National flag carriers evokes emotions. It evokes pride. Just like the Brave Warriors do, or our rugby team. One wonders why countries such as Uganda, Zambia, Malawi, who all thought it does not make commercial sense to have a national carrier, are now bringing them back. Losing Air Namibia has also resulted in the loss of domestic competition. I'm therefore calling upon this forum, and particularly those that are responsible coming of this vision, to look at how we can bring back a national airline that is packaged in such a manner that it is financially viable, operationally efficient, and that will contribute to domestic and regional competition, and thereby gives consumers a choice.
Hangala further stated that having more than one player in the domestic market will result in aviation being affordable and accessible.
Of course, some will say that ours is a small market, but I strongly believe that with the envisaged green hydrogen industry, the development of the new oil and gas discovery, our commitment to develop other industries, the commitment to develop our tourism industry, will be able to generate income so that Namibians will have disposable income to afford traveling by air and to have a choice when traveling by air. So we need to ensure that we do this on a public-private partnership. And in terms of public-private partnership, Namibia has some success stories. We can look at NAMDEB, we can look at the original MTC, and if we package our national airline in that format, I'm sure it will succeed.
Hangala says the NAC is engaging the government through its line minister to see how to improve the infrastructure at local airports, as well as building new terminal buildings at the Katima Mulilo and Rundu airports.
The clock has struck for your daily business and financial news update. Brought to you by The Brief.
Hydrogen Energy has expressed optimism that its planned $170 billion Namibian project will be signed off by the Namibian government before the year ends. This comes as Cabinet has endorsed the composition and appointment of the government negotiations team assembled to finalize the implementation agreement as well as the proposed timeline of its signature. The signing of the implementation agreement will trigger the commencement of the front-end engineering and design phase in the development of the project, which will be constructed over 2 phases with the eventual goal of producing 350,000 tons per year of green hydrogen from 5 gigawatt to 6 gigawatt of renewable generation capacity and a 3 gigawatt electrolyzer. CEO Marco Raffinetti said they are pleased at the commitment and rapid pace of progress that the Namibian government has shown as they move towards concluding the implementation agreement that will enable them to start the next phase of the project. Raffinetti said the company's project will put Namibia's green hydrogen industry firmly on the global energy and decarbonization map and position Namibia for rapid green hydrogen scalability. The Green Hydrogen Development Company has onboarded Boston Consulting Group and Lazard as its international strategic and financial advisors respectively, complementing its existing legal advisory team comprising Slaughter and May and ENS Africa. And the Namibian government aim to begin construction in January 2025, with commissioning of the first phase by the end of 2026. Zimbabwe National Airline Air Zimbabwe is planning to start flights between Harare and Windhoek to take advantage of a gap in the market left by the collapse of Air Namibia. Information gathered by The Brief shows that Air Zimbabwe early this year applied to the Namibia Airports Company NAC to restore direct flight between the two countries, which ceased almost 2 years ago when Air Namibia collapsed. Although insiders at Air Zimbabwe confirmed the development but were tight-lipped on details amid indications the carrier was awaiting to be issued with a foreign operator's permit, NAC spokesperson Dan Kamati said Air Zimbabwe's plans to service the Harare-Windhoek route would be great for business and tourism in Namibia. The latest development comes as the Lufthansa Group on Thursday announced a 3 times per week Frankfurt-Mbombela-Kruger National Park service to commence from November the 15th, with a short stopover in Windhoek to be operated by Eurowings Discover. The flights will depart Frankfurt every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday evening, arriving in Mbombela-Kruger National Park the following afternoon. The return flights from Mbombela will depart every Wednesday, Friday and Sunday afternoon, arriving in Frankfurt the following morning.
This was your daily Namibian business and financial news update. For in-depth stories, read more on thebrief.com.na now.
And that is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on the business front.
We've always had the bravery to stand up for what is Namibian. From protecting our homes from invaders to fighting the injustices of our people. We still honor what our country means to us and raise a glass to those who show their bravery. No matter how bright their spotlight, how commanding their performance, or how they shoot for the stars. With all this potential brewing in the land of the brave, what will you do to make this Namibia your Namibia?
And now a look at Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. Prime Minister Sarah Kwongela Madela says that the $9.4 billion green hydrogen project will result in the creation of 18,000 direct jobs over the course of its 4-year construction. Herald say job opportunities should be for all Namibia. Rennie said the jobs are for some other people. Nas wants to know if green hydrogen is like charcoal. B said, let us see how it goes. Kalola wants to see dates on when the vacancies will be out. That's all from Comments Corner. Be sure to engage on our stories on our social media pages for broadcast only on Today on One.
Enjoy these fantastic payday savings at Clicks until the 6th of September. Buy Clicks 2-ply toilet paper 18 rolls, 2 for $99.99 per pack and 1 for $109.99. Buy Pampers Pants or Baby Dry disposable nappies jumbo pack, 2 for $213.99 per pack and 1 for $241.99. And buy selected Oma laundry products, 2 for $215. Clicks. Feel good. Pay less.
We're crossing over to sports with Castro Ulumbu.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Sports on One. I'm your host Castro Ulumbu. Windhoek Gymnasium Private School were the overall winners at the just-ended Capricorn Group Schools Netball League. The league came to an end this past weekend after it started on the 20th of May. The Windhoek Gymnasium Private School were the big winners of the league as they won 5 out of 6 categories. Windhoek Gymnasium won the Under 13, Under 14, Under 15, Under 17 and Under 19 categories. This past weekend saw the crowning of the champions in the 2022 Schools Netball Super League finals following 4 months of competing. The chairperson of the Capricorn Group Schools Netball League, Lizelle Gabs, gave a highlight of some of the great performances from the schools. Despite a successful league, Gabs also shared some challenges they faced.
We are trying to take the Super League to all regions if possible. It's not always possible, but yeah, we are trying. I think it went very well. We had an excellent playoffs this past weekend. The teams performed very well, and yeah, we are very happy. The biggest surprise was Ala du Plessis. I'm so glad about that, and also Archipena. They outplayed a lot of teams, which was unexpected, because in the past it was always Windhoek High School from the Khomas region, except for the private schools, that did well in the past. And this year, Ala du Plessis was really a big surprise, and we are very happy about that. And they already told me they will even be better, will be better next year, and they will be back. So yeah, we are looking forward to that. Although we get a sponsorship from the Capricorn Group, which we are very grateful for, it's not enough to always cover all expenses, especially for the government schools. We are not giving allowances at all to any of the private schools, so they are responsible for their own transport as well as the accommodation. And yeah, at the end it's a lot of money for the parents and for the schools. So yeah, that is a challenge also, to find affordable accommodation for the government schools, which we are responsible for. And they also struggle sometimes to get reliable and affordable transport to the venues outside of Windhoek. Yeah, so that was the challenges that we faced. And then also, although we are trying to bring the league to all regions, when you go and you play in a town like Otjiwarongo, a big problem is umpires, which is up to standard and which you can use. So we have to make sure that if we go to Swakopmund or Otjiwarongo, that we also pay an amount to some of the umpires to accompany us, to help us there to officiate the matches, because without them we can't play.
The Namibia Schools Sports Union National Coordinator Solomon Daycare applauded organizers of sport initiatives that assist in the development of learners in sports. Daycare also encouraged more public schools to be involved in the Schools Netball Super League, as it gives the girl child an opportunity to compete against their peers.
We want to create opportunities to reach out to the vast areas of our country, to the untapped talent. And the Super League was again, really this year, it really came to a very high. The reason why I'm saying a very high, if we look at schools like Ala du Plessis and Archipena, the schools are not predominantly great netball playing schools. But because of this Super League, it gives them an opportunity to showcase their talent against the best in the country. And when I'm saying the best, I'm referring to the best of the best, because in the Super League, it is all the private schools which are having all the resources to develop their learners and the coaches, etc., as well as government schools who are not that fortunate with resources-wise, as well as not that top-trained coaches. But fortunately for us, for Ala du Plessis as well as Archipena, their parents, the parental commitment as well as volunteers that really pumped in with their time and efforts to ensure that also those kids are developed to the best. I want to plead to more government schools to become involved in this league, because I also want to see schools as far as Zambezi, Oshana, Rundu, etc., to become part and partial of this league.
Windhoek Afrikaans Private School was victorious in the under-12 age group. Thank you for watching. Catch us again tomorrow for more updates on Sports on One.
Thank you, Castro. Time to follow us on our social media pages. From me and the rest of the team, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Honestly, I've never been so anxious to like flip a card.
In your whole life?
My whole entire life. I think it's because I'm probably used to, like, I must know.
You used to having the information.
Yeah. you know? I'm like, I know what I'm gonna ask her more. Now I'm on the other side and I'm just like, can we just? And I can't flip the card up until it's my turn, right?
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation.
I think for me, art is important.
Ooh.
Art is everything. But I think first of all, it's important.
I think again, it's about being a nice person, isn't it? Just because somebody's being nasty to you on the road, or you don't necessarily have to be the same as them.
Always we're told you needed to have X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
Like at school
By
already,
this
they're telling
age,
you
yes.
what do you want to be. You're like, I don't even know what I'm now. I'm going to know what I'm then.
I like football.
Relax. Let me just get through today.
This is a nice question.
Okay.
Let us
Is
hear
it about?
No, I wish it was. I wish it was about but it's not.
We know the world is a crazy place right now. But don't panic. Take a breath. Slow down. Or better yet, stop completely. We'll still be here when everything settles down. In this time of uncertainty, look to nature. She has all the answers, you know. We're not only giving ourselves time to reset, we're giving nature time to restore, revive, restart. We're saving ourselves and we're saving the world. Stay home now, so that we can welcome you to Namibia again soon. Yes, the world's a crazy place right now, but don't despair. Find the joy, cherish hope, breathe. Take a moment, take a few, and someday soon you'll once again be able to stare in wonder at this magnificent view. The world's a crazy place right now, but don't worry, we'll still be here. We'll see you again soon.
The word marries you, when the word rules you, you'll have access to the power, access to the anointing that can establish prosperity in your life. Everyone prays, but not everyone experience the power of God. Keep this word. Meditate on this word day and night. In everything, you carry the word with you, because the word finds space in your heart.
For my village, I'm throwing the landscape of my dreams. With the
creators of the universe in this part of the world that we're living in. Surrounded by mountains, looking for the millions, go for the land that they promised me. Binduk City, my favorite city, I got it on my back, Timbuktu. Binduk City, my favorite city, I'm looking for the millions. Binduk City, my favorite city, I got my back, Timbuktu. Binduk City, my favorite city, I'm looking for the millions. Binduk City, my favorite city, I got my back, Timbuktu. They're looking for the talent, but they overlook the talent. The talent on the streets, but they're scared of the streets. What if I beat it like Michael Jackson? What if I run it like Frankie Fredericks? Run it, I'ma get it. When I get it, I'ma spend it, I'ma leave it with my ladies. We gon' get it, baby, get it, get it, for my village, I'm throwing the landscape of my dreams with the creators of the universe in this part of the world that we're living in. Surrounded by mountains, looking for the millions, go for the land that they promised me. Binduk City, my favorite city, I got it on my back, Timbuktu. Binduk City, my favorite city, looking for the millions. Binduk City, my favorite city, I got my back, Timbuktu. Binduk City, my favorite city, I'm looking for the millions. Binduk City, my favorite city, I got my back, Timbuktu.
I know to the pay. Microphone checks and 212s. Let me meditate. With every single step I make my move. Ooh, Natu Bandule. Elephants just walked in the room. True, so my heavyweight. Uno nabaju up in the place. So tu no kumono bongo on a regular. So the tambulo mambo tambulo cellular. Uno kukala wa kinja kala nyiralua. These bright lights have to play for these nights and the flame.
Living in the city, working for my village. I'm throwing the landscape of my dreams with the creators of the universe in this part of the world that we're living in. Surrounded by mountains, looking for the millions, go for the land that they promised me. Binduk City, my favorite city, I got it on my back, Timbuktu. Binduk City, my favorite city, looking for the millions. Binduk City, my favorite city, I got my